Hello, third graders. Today we're going to talk about lesson 7.10 and 7.11 in our Go Math workbooks. However, lesson 7.10 is just about solving two-step problems. So we're going to take that and save that, and we're really going to focus most of our time today on lesson 7.11. So I want you to flip open to page 427. So take a minute, open up your workbook to page 427, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So lesson 7.11 focuses on the order of operations. That's when we have a problem like this that has two operations, it's the rules that tell us which ones we need to do first. All right, so there is a strategy that I'm going to teach you really quick before we get started. So I want you to write these letters where I'm writing them right now. So these letters, PEMDAS, spell an acronym that's going to help us to remember what we need to do first when we get to a problem with multiple operations. So the P in PEMDAS stands for parentheses. So that means when you see parentheses in your number sentence, you need to do whatever is in those parentheses first. The E in PEMDAS stands for exponents. Now, we haven't learned about exponents yet, so we're not going to really have to worry about that right now. If your problem doesn't have exponents, then you're just going to skip over it and go to the next thing. So the next two letters sort of go together, multiplication and division. When you see a problem with multiplication and division, what you're going to do first is the operation on the left. So if I have a problem that's written like 4 times 16 divided by 2, the multiplication sign comes first. So that's what I would do. It is on the left. And then I would do the division problem. However, if the problem is written by like this, 4 divided by 2 times 16, the division sign is on the left. So that's what you would do first. So the M and the D stand for multiplication and division, and you do whatever is on the left first and move to the right. And then the last two, I'm sure you can guess, are addition and subtraction. So addition and subtraction are the same thing like multiplication and division. So you're going to do whichever of those two comes on the left first. All right, so if the addition sign comes first, that's what you're going to do. If the subtraction sign comes first, that's what you're going to do first. So that's a little acronym, PEMDAS, to help us. So we're going to sort of skip around a little bit, but we're going to look here. So we have this problem, 4 plus 16 divided by 2. Now we're going to look at this problem and see if there are different ways that we can solve it. So it says make a list of all the possible orders that you can use to find the answers to 4 plus 16 divided by 2. So the first order that we can do it in is just like it's listed. We can do addition first, and then division. And then another way that we could do it is we could do the division first, and then the addition. So we're going to see if doing this problem differently is going to give us a different answer. So it says use each order in your list to find the answer. Show the steps you used. So on this first one, we're going to do the addition and then division. So the problem is 4 plus 16 divided by 2. So we're going to do the addition first. So the addition is just 4 plus 16. So we're going to do 4 plus 16. And we know that 4 plus 16 is going to give us the number 20. Now we're going to take that 20 and we're going to divide it by 2. So 20 divided by 2 is going to give us what? You got it. It's going to give us 10. So that's doing the addition first and then the division. Let's see what doing the division first gets us. So the problem is 4 plus 16 divided by 2. if we do the 16 divided by 2 first, let's see what happens. So 16 divided by 2 is the same thing as just splitting 16 in half. So you can think about what times 2 is going to give us 16. We know that 16 divided by 2 is going to give us 8. So then we fill in the 8 here. So now what's left is we have the addition. So then we're going to do the addition. We're going to add the remaining 4 in there. And 8 plus 4 gives us 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our answer would be 12. So notice, doing this problem 2 different ways gave us 2 different answers. So that's why we need an order of operations, because it's going to change the answer when we do it differently. So let's look at the conclusions that we can draw from this investigation. Did following different orders change the answer? Well, yes, it did, because we got 10 when we did addition first, and we got 12 when we did division first. So we're just going to write the word yes. Now, it says, if a problem has more than one type of operation, how does the order in which you perform the operations affect the answer? Well, what we're looking for is that if a problem has more than one operation, if we change the order, it changes the answer. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. We're going to write when we change the order, comma, we change the answer. Now, our last question says, explain the need for setting an order of operations that everyone follows. So the reason this order of operations that we talked about here was created was so that everybody that solves a 2-step problem solves it the same way and gets the same answer. Because if you think about it, let's say Miss Montgomery solved this problem and she did addition first, and I solved this problem and I got division, and I did division first, we would get 2 different answers and we would have no idea who's right. So the reason that we have an order of operations is so that everybody in the mathematical world solves problems the same way and gets the same answers. So we need an order of operations so that we all can get the same answers every time. So I'm going to restate the question. I'm going to write, we need an order of operations, and those words are right here, so you can just use that to spell. Oops. We need an order of operations in math so that everyone gets the same answers on the same problem. So, again, I wrote, we need an order of operations in math so that everyone gets the same answers on the same problem. All right? So that just means that an order of operations ensures that Miss Montgomery and I get the same answer when we solve a problem like this. Now we're going to go ahead and flip our page over, and this just explains a little bit about the order of operations. So this explains that the order of operations is a specific set of rules that gives the order in which calculations are done in a problem. So when there is a problem with more than one type of operation, you need to know which operation to do first. So that's what the order of operations does. So first, we talked about PEMDAS. So first, what's going to come first is parentheses. So we have our P. I'm going to write it again here, which means parentheses. The E stands for exponents, but we don't really need to worry about the E in third grade. The M and the D mean multiplication and division, and then the A and the S mean addition and subtraction. So first you're going to do parentheses. Then you're going to do multiplication and division from left to right. So whichever one comes first is what you're going to do first. And then addition and subtraction go next, and we do those from left to right as well. So that means whichever one comes first is what you're going to do. All right, so Megan buys 2 books for $4 each. She pays with a $10 bill. How much money does she have left? You can write $10 minus 2 times 4 equals C to solve this problem. So we're going to use the order of operations. Well, step 1 is parentheses. I don't see any parentheses in this problem, so I don't have to worry about that. Next, we move on to exponents, but we don't know exponents, so there's obviously not going to be any of those. And then we move on to multiplication and division. So I'm going to box our 2 operations in this problem so I know what I'm looking at. And I see a multiplication sign, so that's going to come first. So we multiply from left to right, which means we're going to take these 2 numbers and we're going to multiply first. So here, they did 2 times $4 would give us $8. So that's how we start off the problem. Then you're going to go on to the subtraction. So you fill in the 8 for this multiplication part, and then we're going to bring down the $10 minus. All right, so next we move on to subtraction from left to right, and we're left with 10 minus 8 equals $2. So we know that Megan has $2 left. Now we need to see if our answer makes sense. So let's look back at the problem. She pays with a $10 bill, and the books are $4 each. So 2 books for $4 each would mean that they cost $8, and she pays with $10, so then she would have 2 left.